Hi, fifth graders. Our focus for the next 2 lessons is going to be comparing fractions. And today we're going to look at how to compare fractions with the same numerator and fractions with the same denominator. So first up, same numerator. When you are comparing fractions with the same numerator, meaning that top digit, the numerator, when you look at both of them, it's the same, you'll notice that the fraction with the lower denominator is always greater. And you might be thinking, well, that seems kind of weird because that's saying that 3/4 is greater than 3/8. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, 8 is more than 4. But these aren't whole numbers, they're fractions. So yesterday we looked at unit fractions and I showed you this handy dandy chart. And if you didn't see it because you didn't need to view this lesson yesterday, then that's fine. Here it is now. But you'll notice, here's a whole. If we break that up, we have a half. If we break it into 3 pieces, there's a third. If you break it up into 4 pieces, there's 1/4 and 1/5. And I'm hoping you notice that as that denominator gets larger, the pieces get smaller. So that's what's happening here. When we're comparing fractions with the same numerator, it's saying we have 3 pieces, but whoever has more depends on how big the pieces are. So if we cut up the whole rectangle into 4 pieces, that's like having to share a candy bar with 4 people. This is like having to share that same candy bar with 8 people. So when you compare fractions with the same numerator, whichever fraction is cut up into larger pieces is going to be greater. And you can see here that 3 out of 4 takes up more space than 3 out of 8. So be asking yourself as you're comparing fractions, are the numerators the same? Because if the numerators are the same, then the lower denominator will always be greater because a lower denominator means a lower number of people to share with. So take a look. And if you want to, you can pause right here and try to answer these 4 on your own. Maybe you have a sheet protector and you want to make your own little whiteboard, or maybe you have a whiteboard, or just paper and pencil, whatever you want to do. You could pause right here and then check your answers to see if they're right. So first off, I have 9/10, 9/12. Numerators are the same. So which is going to be more, 9 out of 10 pieces or 9 out of 12? Well, in this one, if I only have to share with 10 people versus 12, these pieces are going to be greater. Lower denominator, same number of pieces, lower denominator wins. 1/7 and 1/5. You guessed it, 1/5 would be greater. And if you're still not sold, look at the chart. I'll bring this up again. Here's 1/5. Here's 1/7. Doesn't 1/5 take up more space than 1/7? It's because this is only cut up into 5 pieces and this is cut up into 7. So lower denominator wins. 7/11 and 7/8. 7/8 will be greater because these pieces are larger. And finally, 9/8 and 9/4. I always like to include an improper fraction in there just so you know, same rules apply. The numerator is the same. This whole is cut up into 8 pieces. This whole is cut up into 4 pieces. These pieces are going to be larger. So in summary, when you're comparing fractions with the same numerator, the fraction with the lower denominator will be greater because those pieces are larger. Now, on the opposite end of that, we can compare fractions with the same denominator. So that means when you look at the fractions, you notice, hey, the bottom numbers in both of them are the same. So when you compare fractions with the same denominator, the pieces are the same size. So the fraction with the higher numerator is going to be greater because you have more of the same size pieces. So for example, if I'm comparing 5/8 with 3/8, these circles, each circle represents one whole. The denominator tells us that each is cut up into 8 pieces. And notice, those pieces are the same size in both. So this is saying you have 5 of those pieces, and this is saying you have 3. We can see that more of this circle is shaded. So 5/8 would be greater. So when you're comparing fractions with the same denominator, the pieces are the same size. Whichever fraction you have more pieces of, that's the one that's greater. So whichever numerator is greater is the fraction that is greater because you have more of the same size pieces. So again, if you wanted to go ahead and hit pause and try these 4 examples on your own, that would be a good idea. Or if you're like, you know what, I would just want to watch and learn, that is fine too. So here I have 3/4 and 1/4. The denominators are the same. That means the pieces are the same size. So if I have 3 of the same size pieces, that's going to be more than just having 1. Same denominator, having 7 pieces is greater than having 3 pieces because the pieces are the same size. 10/17 and 12/17, those denominators are the same. That means pieces are the same size. 12 is greater than 10. And for H, they both have a denominator of 5. Again, I included improper, so you see the rules are the same. If my denominator is the same, that means they're the same size piece. So if you have pieces of the same size, the person that has 8 of those pieces is going to have more than the person that has 6. All right, you're all set. Good luck on your formative.